Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, my name is Rod Ransom. I'm originally from Romulus, Michigan.
Okay.
You know, I became homeless over a period of time, like 2000 primarily.
Okay.
You know, due to use of narcotics.
Narcotics. Okay.
And then I've been struggling with like mental illness off and on ever since
Okay.
the age of like 20.
Okay.
You know, I've been out here.
How old are you now?
January 12th, I turned 46.
46. Oh, that's ironic. That's my ex-wife's birthday, but
Capricorn.
Capricorn.
All
Good
right.
people.
Good people.
Good people. Absolutely good people.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
That's for sure. I can vouch for that.
Yep. Okay.
You got any kids?
None that I know of.
We'll take that. Now that you know. Okay.
Right.
How long you been out here?
Like I said, since about 2000.
Year 2000. So we talking 15 years? Okay. You got any housing around here, or you always?
Well, actually, it's interesting that you would come across me because I'm like one of the last participants in a project called Tent City.
Tent City? Tent City?
Yeah,
okay.
They originally had tents set up right down the street here.
Okay.
And actually.
Oh, right in that park?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm part of that program, and I just recently, past 2 days, got kicked out. The money, the funding ran out, and working through the Tsunami Center.
Okay.
You know, don't get me wrong, they're doing a good job, you know, but a few things transpired where it set me back a little bit, you know,
okay.
in terms of getting my voucher for my Section 8.
Okay.
But I think it's taken, that's why I was telling you, Beulah Walker, she's a good person. She works with a water project to stop people's water from getting cut off.
Right, okay.
Anyway, she's in the process of trying to help me, and her and Ronnie Dow, supposedly supposed to be checking into some things about why they kicked me out.
Okay.
Because it's like they're dragging their heels on finding housing. You know, I was supposed to have gotten my ID a long time ago.
Okay. Your ID?
My ID, and then just now.
You mean driver's license or
my
state
ID?
Okay.
Just regular state ID. So I write off the last. Long story short, sent off the last and get my birth certificate, and here I am. Spent 3 months in that hotel. That's the point.
Okay.
3 months in January 9th.
What hotel was that?
The stay-in, between the stay-in.
Oh, right here on Jefferson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in the stay-in, and they kicked us out, kicked me out. I was the last.
They provided the.
Everyone else has housing.
Okay.
And they're planning on getting me housing, but the thing is, homeless being put up, and I was under the assumption that I wouldn't have to go through this
again.
Yeah.
Return back to the situation.
That's why it's kind of like, you might be a God sent. You know what I'm saying? So.
Okay. Well, what we trying to do, what we're offering is, we're trying to get funding for. We have properties that we want to utilize and place.
Right.
You know, people less fortunate. I don't want to call people homeless. I just want to say less fortunate.
Right.
And we all end up sometimes less fortunate than others. We all go through it sometimes, to a degree.
A lot of people, one foot away from it.
Absolutely.
One paycheck away from it.
Absolutely. Have you ever worked before?
Yes, I have. I went to school for cosmetology. I'm a carpenter.
Okay.
A few other little.
You say you went to school for cosmetology to do hair?
Virginia Field, yeah.
Virginia Field, oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did time in prison. I had a lot of setbacks here and there, and a lot of accomplishments.
That's right.
So all I can do, man, is keep the faith, and say it's true.
Okay. If you had one thing you wanted to say to somebody to avoid them from becoming less fortunate, or to becoming, to be put out on the street, or to live on the street, what would you say? What would be your advice to a person who's may have traveled a familiar road?
Okay, it's kind of far-reaching, and I hope it's not too vague, but that term like know thyself. Try to spend more time knowing yourself instead of worrying about other people in terms of what they have. Worry about yourself, and try to stay, if possible. Balance is impossible, but just try to stay a step ahead.
Okay.
To have a little foresight.
Okay. I got you. Well, I appreciate it, man. What's your name again? I'm sorry.
Rodney.
Rodney?
I prefer Link.
Link?
Yeah, but my name is Rodney.
All right, thanks.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure meeting you too. I'm Mr. Favors, and we appreciate you talking to us today.